Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the Patreons, make sure to subscribe and let's get into it. So, as you know guys, the event for the ship is actually ending soon, or it already ended, I don't know, to be honest, but still. And we will begin the cycle again, and the next one will probably be a tank, right? I was actually surprised that we didn't see any of the or the dev blog for the next event tank that will come soon already, you know, so we probably will see it next week. But while we wait, I wanted to wonder with you guys 3 options of tanks that would be cool. As you know, the last one was the Object 292, which is a Soviet tank, so I really doubt that we will see something like a Soviet tank again. It wouldn't make sense, and we just got the T-80UD as well, so it just doesn't make any sense to have a Soviet tank. But there are some other countries that could have something along the lines of the Object 292, but for other countries, and that would be cool. The first one isn't like that directly for the US, but I just think that it's a very cool design that should be added. And I'm talking about the M1 Abrams Block 3 TTB, or Tank Test Bed, which is a very interesting prototype. It was a very early 80s prototype, but still prototype built with an unmanned turret based off of the 120mm M256 smoothbore gun. Of course, it's basically an Abrams without a turret. You know, we would have an automated turret, or not automated, but unmanned, right? The crew members would be seated side by side on the hull, like the Armata is going to happen, and with cameras, thermal viewers, everything like that, with a mechanical autoloader, of course. That's because, I mean, you couldn't load the gun because it's not a turret, and of course you have only 3 crew members. That would be the objective, of course. 44 rounds on a carousel inside the turret basket, so in a similar-ish manner than the Soviet tanks, and it could have a sustained rate of fire of around 10 rounds per minute, which is pretty good. I mean, it's like 6-second reloads. It could probably push that, and they normally change these because of balance, as they did with the Leclercs and Type 10s and stuff, and Type 90s. So yeah, the Type 90, I don't know about the Type 10 if you had that, but still. Anyway, I mean, some like sources claim that they did 40,000 shots with no malfunctioning of the gun, and yeah, it would be a very interesting tank. Of course, because it doesn't have a turret and it doesn't need the armor on the turret, it is a very light tank, around 45 tons. So I think that's probably even lighter than some of the MBTs that you see in the Soviet Union. Barely, but yeah. So yeah, it's a light tank. And with the same engine, it would probably be a very fast tank. That would be the coolest factor to it. Around 10, 15, 20 tons with a very powerful engine. You know, so the thrust rate of this thing would probably be amazing. And of course, it is a very light M1. With almost no armor, but still, with the 120mm, you know, so it would be kind of what the Object 292 is. Not really, but you know what I mean, right? The Americans had something similar to the 292, but I don't think we are ready for that yet. But still, it would be cool to see that tank. It really would. Then we have the second one, which is the Leopard 140. And yes, similarly to the Soviets, to be honest, everybody was trying to improve the guns of the MBTs in the 80s and 90s, you know, especially because it was already rumored that the Soviets were working on tanks like the 292 using a 152 or 135mm, just a bigger gun, you know, so they of course tried to implement tanks that had this line of thinking as well. The Leopard 140 would be that. It had many ideas behind it and many like improvements over the tank. It wasn't going to be just a normal Leopard 2, but the thing is that for prototypes they normally use tanks that were already existing. So just like the 292, they would bring a very early tank in armor and everything like that to actually put the 140, and that would be very, very cool. It would be basically the 292 for Germany, and that's probably my favorite one because it would literally be a Leopard 2 prototype, you know, the early prototypes of the Leopard 2 with the 140mm. So it would be literally an Object 292 for the Germans, which would be amazing. It never saw service, of course, and the prototype never saw its full capabilities being added to it, just like the 292, so it's just a perfect addition. Like, cross my fingers, this will be the event vehicle, because it would just make a lot of sense, right? The 140, of course, amazing gun, just like the 152 is, so it would be amazing levels of penetration. So yeah, it would be just an amazing like event tank, and hopefully it's added. And the last one is basically the Leclerc Terminator, I think it was called, or something like that, but basically the Leclerc 140. So pretty much what the Leopard 2 was that I talked about, but a Leclerc. This one, I gotta say, I don't know if Gaijin would add something like this, just because it is pretty much a top tier Leclerc with a 140mm. That would be amazing and completely would destroy everything. So this could actually be like a proper top tier tank in the future for this range. It's not like an early Leopard 2 or an early version of a T80 from the late 70s with a big gun for a prototype. It's a proper prototype made out of the main battle tank Leclerc that was already being produced in, like, with the full armor from the late 80s and early 90s, right? So it's kind of a stretch. Probably we will not see this. Leopard would make a lot of sense, but in the future maybe seeing this as an event vehicle or something like that would already be cool. So imagine a Leclerc with an elongated turret to actually hold the gun, and of course an amazing 140mm as well, with amazing capabilities, amazing auto-loading capabilities, and just an amazing tank. And yeah, guys, basically these are my 3 options that I would love to see. I know they are kind of like tanks that we already have modified, but that's what I think it's realistic to expect. Actually, you know, I was going to add some others like the Terminator and other tanks, but to be honest, there are many tanks that should be like normal Tech 3 vehicle, or they're too advanced, just like the Leclerc, to be an event vehicle. So I don't know about the other ones, but these 3, I think, more the 2 first, but still these 3 can be added and be very fun, and hopefully they are added, especially the Leopard 2 140. I would love to see that thing. But let me know in the comments what you think about these 3, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.